Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Well, we've made our little basket or our little manger for our baby Jesus, for our nativity scene. So now what we need to do is we've made this part. Here we go. Now we need to make our little baby to go in there. Okay, and it's very easy, not terribly difficult. A little bit fiddly because we're working with something that's so small. But there's our little baby. So that's what we're going to make in this tutorial. You're going to need two colours, skin tone and white. And you're going to need two of the 4mm safety toy eyes. I've got mine already with the backing on them. I find it easier to just poke them through. You will need stuffing. I do use stuffing. And a hook and some stitch markers. I do use the stitch markers that lock. I prefer these, but you can get the ones that don't lock. You can use C clips, S clips, paper clips, safety pin, hair bobby pin, all that sort of stuff works just fine. And we're going to start with white, and we're going to do a magic ring of 6. So let's get 6 bands ready and 1 for our hook. So we're going to start by wrapping that first band around your hook once and twice. Let's get my eyes out the way. Now take your first band and slide through, okay, and you're going to pinch the little end cap, we call this the end cap, and slide it one over the other. Now if you're good at this, or if you have nails, you can pinch the little end cap and push your hook back through to do your next or your following band. You're going to do this to all 6. If you don't have nails, or you find it a little bit difficult to work out which ones to grab, use your stitch marker and pop it through, and then it's easy to work out where you need to push your hook through to do your magic ring, like so. And then when you get to a certain area, you can actually hold the bands and you don't need to have that in there. The other way of doing that is to use your loom. And in some of my beginning videos, I use my loom to show people how to do that. I find it quite easy to demonstrate how to do a magic ring by using a loom. Now, our next round is going to be a round of increases, which means we go from 6 in our diameter to 12, because you're going to do 2 in each stitch. Okay, so take your first band, go through your first stitch here, and do a single crochet. And you're going to put your stitch marker on that particular stitch, like so. Go back through that first stitch and you're going to do a second single crochet in that first stitch, and then in the second stitch you're going to do 2 in here as well. You're going to do 2 in each of them, and then you'll have a total of 12 bands, 12 stitches. So 2 in each. Oops, unless you drop them. Now while I'm using this as baby Jesus for my nativity scene, it's a baby in a crib. You can do it for any kind of baby, newborn, whatever. Just change up the colours of the swaddling a little bit. So there we go. There's our 12 stitches. Next, we're going to do a round of single crochet followed by an increase. But we need to change some colours as well. So we're going to do 6 white, and then we're going to do 6 skin tone, and then 6 more white. And I'm just making little piles here so I've got the right amount of bands. Okay, and it's going to be single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet. This is how it's going to be, the pattern. Okay, and you will be changing colour. And one more of the white, there we go. So this is our pattern. So let's go through our first stitch, single crochet in white, and you're going to change your stitch marker, and then we do an increase in the next stitch. So that's 2 white stitches in the second stitch, single crochet, increase. 1 and 2. Now that was our 6th white stitch, so we're going to need a 6th white band. We're going to need to change colour to our skin tone, which means because we're doing a colour change we need to do a slip stitch. So you pull it through and add your white loop to it, and then one over the other. You don't do a single crochet as well, that stands instead of that. Your next stitch is an increase, so 2 single crochets in the same stitch, a single crochet and an increase, and then our next stitch is a single crochet, but again you're changing back to white, so you're going to pull that through and do your slip stitch. Your next stitch is an increase, so 1, oops, come here mister, 2, single crochet and an increase. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you're not counting the slip stitch, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 is on our hook. Alright, we're doing a round of single crochet, but we're going to be very careful on this face part, okay? So let's work out where we're going. We're doing single crochet only, no increases. Start in white, move your stitch marker. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this particular stitch here we're going to do as a skin tone, so slide it through that last white stitch but add the white loop to it and do a slip stitch. You're going to miss the slip stitch and go into the next stitch, and you're doing skin tone in all of these skin tone stitches that you have here. And there's your last skin tone. Now this one is going to pull across to here, so we're going into this skin tone with a white, pull it across and do a slip stitch. Okay, so that's how it's going to look, and then you skip that little slip stitch and go into your next stitch with your white bands. Okay, so that was single crochet all the way around with your colour change. You're going to do another round of single crochet, and again we're going to be careful at the colour changing points. So move your stitch marker to your new first stitch, and let's do our white bands. So the last white band here, you're going to use a colour change, add your white loop, and again skip the slip stitch, go into the real stitch, and we do our skin tone. Oops, I've got 2 bands then. Into the last stitch here with the skin tone, and then in this first stitch you're skipping the little white stitch here, which is a slip stitch. We'll do our slip stitch into white and go around until we get to our stitch marker using our white bands. Okay, so that is 3 rounds. We've done 1, 2 and 3 with the skin tone. We have one more round to do with skin tone. Okay, and it's going to have a decrease in it. So we do single crochet, change your stitch marker. The next stitch is a decrease. Now, I'm not doing a hidden decrease in this particular one. I'm going to do a full decrease. So I've gone through the first stitch, both loops, and then the second stitch, both loops. I feel it's going to leave less of the big holes that you can sometimes see. So pull these through like so, and that's your decrease. The next stitch is going to be a single crochet. And I'm in the white stitch here. I'm going to do a single crochet in white. Now in the skin tone, I'm going to miss the slip stitch here. I'm going through these two here. I will do a decrease. And as you can see, I've got to add my white loop to it, almost like a slip stitch, because I've got the colour change. Like that, okay? Then a single crochet. Then a decrease, single crochet, a decrease. Now I'm going through a skin tone and a white. I'm going to use a white band. I'm going to pull it through, and I have to add my skin tone loop because it's a colour change. Then we do a single crochet and a decrease. Single crochet, and we finish on a decrease. Alright, so that's the little face. Now we have to start on the neck. Now to do the neck, we're needing to do a round of decrease first. Alright, so we're going to start the first stitch, push your stitch marker over the back because you've got to go straight into your second stitch. And I'm flicking bands everywhere. So do a decrease. And we're just doing this in white. We're not doing skin tone, so we don't have to worry about slip stitching for colour changing. So that was our first decrease. We're going to do another decrease here. Now this little one here is a slip stitch. It's the one here that is the actual stitch. Again, we're just working in white. And I know it can be a little fiddly when we're dealing with such little things. There's a slip stitch here, so go into the real stitch. And then my last one is here. Like so. So I now have, if you count, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So I'm going to go in from the front of my stitch and pop out the side to get this post. Hope you can see it. So this would be the actual stitch, my first stitch here. I'm not going through that stitch like normal. I'm going through the back of my previous stitch and coming out through the post like this, and do a single crochet and move my stitch marker to it. And it does leave a very tiny space for the neck. Two, oh, my stitch marker is getting in the way, let's get that out of the way. 2, 3, 4, 5, and my last one is going to be here, 6. So that gives me 6 stitches around this neck. Can you see this is the tiny, I'll get my pencil, this here, right in here is my tiny little neck area. Okay, so now what we're going to have to do is a single crochet and an increase. So here's our first stitch, go through your first stitch, single crochet, move your stitch marker, the next stitch, which is here, is an increase. So 1 and back through that same stitch, 2, single crochet, increase, 1 and 2, single crochet, oops, let's try that one again, and finish with an increase, 1 and 2. So you've gone from 6 stitches to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Next we're going to go through that first stitch and we're going to do an increase in every single stitch. So here's our first one, and go back in again and do another, and again, 1 and 2, and again, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2. Now that should take you from 9 to 18. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 is on my hook. Looks a bit scrunched up. We need to put eyes and a bit of stuffing. I'm just going to open this up and pop my stitch on here just so I don't lose it. That's my last stitch. Okay, and I'm going to just quickly pop the eyes through. Now as you can see, we have an incredibly small area here with which to poke our stuffing, but also in which to do the eyes. Okay, that's a very small area right in here, so be careful when you're doing this. Okay, because it's not a very big area. So for the eyes, I'm going to probably put one here and one here. And I like to use the back of my, well, sorry, not the back of my hook, the front of my hook to just gently pull aside some of the bands to get the backing in, because it's the backing that I need to get through, like that. And then I'm going to go this one here, right in here. So I've gone under, and I'm going to pull that aside and try and slip that in. Oops, I didn't do a very good job of that one. Let's try that again. This is why I prefer making bigger things. There we go, there's the eyes in. That's where I'm going to have the eyes. And let's get a tiny bit of stuffing to stuff in his little head as well. You really don't need very much at all. I use the 100% polyfill, but you can use cotton wool, you can use tissues, loose material, old yarn. I'm going to use the back of my hook to sort of gently push, sort of start it a little bit and then gently kind of push some of this stuffing in. There we go. Let's see how much we need. You don't want it to be too stuffed, and the reason is that you will see it through the holes. I think we could probably do with a little bit more, not that much more, just a tiny bit. So there we go. That is how I'm going to stuff the face. Get my eyes right. So that's going to be my little Jesus face, or my little baby face. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do is do a little round of white bands around here. I'm going to start at the very bottom, okay, and I'm just going to use white. And I've just gone through, you're just going to pick a spot under here to just pull a single band back through, and don't loop it on anything, just keep it on your hook like this, and then go through the next one, and you're sort of going through where the white and the skin tone meet. As you pull this one through, you're going to pull one end through the two that were on there and then swap. So you've got these two on there, and then next you go through. It doesn't matter how you find the spot, just, get between a skin tone and the white, and then pull this one through. Oopsie, come back here, you. Pull this one through, and again through the two loops that were on your hook. And then I'm going to go up to this one here. And this is just to sort of, I guess, give this swaddle a bit more of a look to it, rather than just sliding from the face to the swaddle. And I'm just going around to give the face part of the swaddle a little bit more definition. I just felt it looked a little nicer doing it like this. Again, you can make the swaddle any colour you like. If you're not doing this for a nativity scene, if you're doing this as a welcome new baby or something like that. And I'm nearly at the beginning. This is my last stitch here. I'm going to go through, pull it through. And then I'm going to go back through the first one, through the middle there like that. And I'm going to tie one end over the other, nice and tight, like so. So now we're going to take that little tie-off band and pull it through to the inside of our work, if you possibly can. Come here, little tie-off band. There we go. So that's pulled through. So that's going to be the little face. Okay, now back to our little body here. Get my last stitch on my hook, undo my stitch marker like so. Now we're ready to go around again. We're going to do a round of single crochet just in white. Everything else is just in white from now on, so that's quite nice. So single crochet all the way around in white. Move your stitch marker and around we go. Our next round is going to be 3 single crochets followed by an increase. So here's our first stitch. Move your stitch marker. Two, 3, and in this stitch we do an increase, which is 2 in the same stitch. And then again we do 3, go through both loops. 1, 2, 3, and an increase. And back in for the second, then 3 again. And an increase. And an increase. And I'm going to do 1 and 2 in single crochet. Now we're going to do a round of single crochet just by itself, no increases. Move your stitch marker onto your first stitch and around we go. Oops, let's make sure I do that one properly. What have I done here? I have a band twisted and it looks a bit odd. I'm going to fix that. There we go. And my last one. And we'll count our stitches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 and 22 is on our hook. We're going to do single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, so 3 single crochets and a decrease. That's our next round. Alright, so here's our first single crochet. Move your stitch marker. 2, 3 and a decrease. I'm going to go through the back loop only of those 2 and do a hidden decrease, and then let's do another 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3 and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, decrease, 1, 2, 3 and a decrease, 1 and 2. Okay, so it's beginning to form its little shape. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease. So here's our first stitch. 1, 2 and a decrease. 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2 and decrease, 1, oh come here band, 2, decrease, make sure my stitch marker is out of the way, 1 and 2. Now I'm going to be doing decreases for the next ones, so I'm going to go through the first one and take my stitch marker off, and through the second stitch. Now I'm going through both loops of these, okay, I'm not doing a hidden decrease, I'm going through the front 2 and then the next 2, doing my decrease, and I'm going to put my stitch marker on here. Alright, now I'm going to just put a little bit of stuffing in here at this stage, okay. I might have a bit too much, that's okay, it doesn't really matter, I can always take some out. Now I'm going to make sure that I have enough that it sits at the point of where I'm doing my crochet stitches, because I'm going a little bit further and then this will continue on. So it does make it a little bit difficult. You need to push it down as you do your decreases. So for our next one, push your stuffing down into your next stitch, two loops and the stitch next to it. As I said, you're not doing hidden decreases, and you can actually take this off because you're just decreasing all the way to the end now. Next stitch one and the stitch next to it. And the stitch next to it. Use your thumb to push the stuffing out of the way of your stitches so you don't get your hook caught in the stuffing. Oopsie. Let's try that one again. And I'm going to go through this last stitch here and go through all of them like that and tie off in a nice tight tie off. I'm going to poke my hook through, come up where that tie off band is and pull it back through the inside and just gently hide it inside my baby. And then I'm just going to squidge him into shape like so. Now, here we have our little manger that we made, and as you can see, he fits in just right. So there we go, that's how I did the little baby in our manger. And I can't remember which one, maybe it was this one, I think it was this one. There we go. He fits perfectly in. This one was a little bigger. This one I made a little better. Well, I can't remember. One or the other. They both fit. So there we go. I've got a little nursery happening here, haven't I? Make them different colours. I could have a little nursery if I wasn't using it for a nativity. So there we go. There's my baby Jesus. Here's all my little babies in a manger. I hope you enjoy making. Take care. Bye.